Somebody kept telling me, set goals. I was never really a super good free throw shooter. I was average. Wasn't bad as Shaq and wasn't good as Ray Allen. All right, somewhere in between. And somebody said, put your goals inside your locker. I'm like, that's stupid. I'm going to work hard every day. I don't need to put goals inside my locker. Well, I went ahead and put my goals up. I want to shoot 75% from the free throw line. That was every 3 out of 4 shots. And I put something else. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. So I remember at halftime, I think I had like 9 points in one game. I came in. I think half of my points were free throws. And I went in, I opened my locker, and guess what I saw? I saw that free throw thing. And then I thought about it. And as I was at the free throw line, what happened, every time from then on when I was at the free throw line, every time I shoot a free throw, what do you think I was thinking about? My goal. When you don't set a goal, you're just in the mindset, oh, I'm working hard, but you're not really aiming for anything. Does that make sense? So having goals really makes a difference. Maybe your goal is to make the varsity team. Okay, I got a question. Is that really a goal?
Yeah.
What kind of goals do we need to have?
Higher.
Starts with S.
Start.
Specific. Specific. You know what the word specific means? Specific. Can you say that word? All right. What does that mean? Exactly. Okay? Don't just say I want to make the varsity team, because you may make the varsity team and you may what? Sit the bench. You see what I mean? So if you say I want to be a starter and I want to play college basketball, whatever it is, your whole mindset will change from this day forward. Maybe you say, I just want to make the team. I just want to let the girls see me on the bench. Well, if that's your goal, then that's what you'll aim for. I say everybody in this room should aim to start on varsity your freshman year, your sophomore year. Regardless of whether you achieve it or not, that should be your goal. And up to this point, many of you weren't even thinking like that, were you? Don't answer, but I know you weren't. And that's going to affect the way you train. That's going to affect the way you play. You guys have an advantage. I'm not saying that because I believe I'm the best trainer in the world. I know I'm not the best trainer in the world. But I believe I got something I can offer you to make you a better player. And a better person. And a better person. That's what's really important, because the basketball is going to do this for everybody someday. It's going to stop bouncing. It stopped for me when I blew my knee out. And I'll talk about that a little later. But it's going to stop for you. And what are you going to have to offer to society? What are you going to have to offer to your kids? Or if you decide to be a coach at whatever level, what are you going to have to offer? You want to learn as much as you can about this ball. Now, there's 2 extremes we can take. You can be real lazy and do nothing and say, you know what, I'm not blessed with athletic ability, so I'm not going to push myself. Or you can go to the other extreme and say, basketball is my life. Don't ever make this ball your life. That was a mistake I made. I put this ball on the floor, and I try to stand on it. What's going to happen, guys? I'm going to fall. You know why? Because when basketball is taken away from me, like it happened to me when I blew my knee out, I had nothing else to live for. Don't make it your life, but then don't sell yourself short. Don't think too highly of yourself, but don't think too lowly of yourself. Be balanced, be honest with yourself, what you need to work on, where you need to go. Be honest with your weaknesses and work on those weaknesses. That's what makes a difference. And that'll bring you confidence in life and on the court. When you get ready to play, you're ready to go against the best competition no matter what. Even the guys you don't even know they're out there, you meet them, you'll be ready to play against them because you understand what you need to do. Every day, every single one of you guys should be going home and working on everything that you're learning to make yourself, to master the skills that you're learning today. To master those skills every day. I grew up as a little kid down in South Alabama. I always tell people from LA, they think it's Los Angeles, but it's actually Lower Alabama. Okay? And I grew up in a little small town, about 40,000, 50,000 people. And my father left my family when I was 4 years old. I probably saw my dad 3 or 4 times before he left. And my mom had to get a job. She married at the age of 18, had me at 19. Got divorced at 23. Had a little sister who was 1 year old. She had to start working with no college education. She worked for, I think, probably $2 something an hour at that time. I remember many days we ate the same thing every day, bologna and bread, spam. If you want a recipe, I can give you one from bologna or whatever. I have a million ways I know how to cook it. And that's what we ate. Many times we didn't even have milk to put on our cereal. We put water on our cereal. I mean, we grew up poor. We had big rats that were around our house. Some of them got inside of our house. It wasn't a pretty sight. And it was just hard growing up. There was one time my mom came to me and said, "You're not going to get anything for Christmas." And I said, "Are you serious? Nothing for Christmas?" She said, "Yeah, nothing for Christmas." Sure enough, I didn't get anything for Christmas. I was just surprised. I thought everybody got something for Christmas. And that was the first time it dawned on me that we were poor. Up to that point, I didn't even know I was poor. Today, if you don't get an iPhone or something, you think, "Oh, this is just ridiculous. Everybody has an iPhone." You're life is miserable just because you don't get that one item. And then the problem with that attitude is it carries over to the court. Because then you think, well, if I don't start, I'm not going to play anymore. Or you start hating your coach. But do you ever think to yourself that everything in life happens for a reason? There's a reason why sometimes life is not easy. There's a reason why some people go. You ever realize that none of you guys go through the same things as the person sitting next to you? Everybody, life is a different path. And things happen to us for different reasons. You ever think about that? There's a reason for that. When I was about 14 years old, my mom remarried when I was about 9 years old. And I just started playing basketball until I was about 11 years old. And the reason why is because most guys played at the Boys and Girls Club. And we had to pay membership dues at the Boys and Girls Club. I could not afford to pay the $5 a month to go. I couldn't even afford that. So I learned how to play basketball in the backyard of my friend's house. And I'm not talking about on the court. It was just bare ground. It was grass, and we would bounce the ball until all the grass went away. And then we bounced it some more until all the dirt got hard, and that was our basketball court. Many times there was tree roots sticking out of the ground. That's how we learned how to dribble around tree roots. While you're playing one-on-one or whatever, 5-on-5, you just knew who the roots were. You didn't have to look down. You just knew who they were. Many times we didn't have a basketball ring. We would take a crate, something like this, and we'd nail it on a tree. Or we'd take a piece of plywood and put a bicycle rim and pull the spokes out. Whatever we could get our hands on, that's what we did. We played. We would imagine we were Michael Jordan or Larry Bird. And that's what we do. We go out in the yard and play. People don't do that anymore. That's how I grew up. That's how I learned how to play the game in my initial stages. When I was in junior high, I wasn't a very good player. I was somewhat an athlete, a little clumsy, and I was known as a rebounder. And so basically what I was doing is rebounding and running suicides all game long. That was not fun. I said, I got to work on my game because I don't want to be running suicides and rebounding. I want to shoot, I want to play, I want the girls to see me, all that kind of stuff, right? So that summer, after 8th grade year, I got my first dunk. And I began to work on my game a little bit more. Now, I didn't have a trainer. Training wasn't really popular back then. We're talking about probably the mid-'80s or so. Training wasn't really popular back then. And so it wasn't until Michael Jordan came around that training became really something that was new. The guys really got in and worked hard on the weaknesses, innovative type of skill training. That thing came up of that time, okay? It wasn't known at the college level. It wasn't known in high school or junior high at that time. There was no three-point line at that time until I was in junior high. Now, my mom got remarried when I was about 9 years old, and my stepfather was in the military, so he used to drink a lot. He learned to drink a lot, alcoholic. And so there was a lot of altercations in our home. I wound up leaving home at the age of 14. I flew up to Minnesota and lived with one of my aunts there. And the situation wasn't much better over there, but I had the opportunity to see something different. I saw different types of people. You come down here and everybody's Hispanic. 90% of the people are Hispanic down here, right? I went over there and you had people, Chinese people, Mongolian people. You had people from Russia, all over the world. That was the first time a little country boy from Alabama had never seen anything like this before in his life. Little did I know my life was going to take a drastic turn once I arrived in the state of Minnesota. At 14, I got my first job, and I've worked every day of my life since to that point. That's why I'm always moving, and those who know me know I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. I always work. I moved in with my aunt. I never had my own bedroom. Growing up as a kid, I shared a room with 3 people. My sister, my brother, and myself shared the same room. We had a bunk bed in one corner, another bed on the other side of the room. Never had my own room. Never knew what it was like. Went to live with my aunt. Still didn't have my room. Shared my room with my cousin. You know, I just didn't have those privileges. But one thing that really changed my life was this game. I remember I met a friend. One of my best friends was white when I got to Minnesota. It was all these white people. And I remember walking to the cafeteria and seeing all these white people like, man, I'm not used to this. And they walk up to you and they're real friendly to you and like, wow, and they're friendly too? And I remember that. They were friendly until we got on the basketball court. One thing I'll say about Minnesota is that it's got great basketball. Anywhere in the Midwest, you go to Indiana, you go Chicago area, all those areas, they play good basketball there. You think you see basketball in Texas? No, Texas is not a basketball state. Maybe 3rd or 4th football, Alabama, Florida, football. Texas is just somewhere in there. It's a big state. Not number 1 for football or basketball. You want to see real basketball, you go to the Midwest, where it originated. You'll see some good basketball. I'm not saying there's not good players here, but real basketball is in the Midwest. I got to Minnesota, and guys were playing basketball 24/7. It was snow. It would be 4 or 5 feet of snow on the ground. Guys out there shooting free throws, doing whatever they could. Bouncing on top of the snow, playing basketball all day long. When I got onto the team there, as my freshman year, I made the JV team. And, man, guys weren't too happy. I was a new guy in town. You're not going to take my spot. These guys have been playing together since they were in 3rd grade. True story. I'm going to bring you some articles next week. True story. I did not make the varsity team until my senior year. Was I good enough to make the team before that? I believe I was. I know I was. But for some reason, I did not make the team, whatever the reason was. My senior year, we got a new coach. He had coached college basketball at a small college. Came in. He said, you're going to be my man. You got the green light. You can shoot whenever you want to. You can make whatever decision you want to make on the court. That summer, I worked my butt out. I played in what we call the Pro-Am League, downtown St. Paul, Minnesota, where this is where all the NBA legends play. They play their games in the off-season. We come in and we play right after them. We have 6 regions in the state of Minnesota. I'll give you an example. Take this town, the city of Lake College. Take a 2-mile circle around this town. The city I grew up in the 2-mile circle, there was 12 schools within 2 miles of each other that all had over 2,000 students. Only 12 guys can make a team out of the whole region. Now, that was just my district. That wasn't even one region. 6 regions, 12 guys from each region make this team. So we had 6 teams of 12 guys. I made that team. I could have quit and said, you know what, I didn't make varsity. I've done everything I could, but that summer, I worked my butt off that summer. I played in the night league, led them in scoring and rebounding. Played in the little college league, led them in scoring and rebounding. Every league I played in. The best talent in the state were playing there. Came in, I was now ranked in the state. My name was on the map. People knew who I was before the season even started because of what I had done that summer. Just working my tail off. Lifting weights for the first time. I was a senior. I was probably 175 pounds, got my bench press up to 250 pounds. In college, I was bench pressing 375 in college. Me, at 190 pounds. I'm 230 now, at 190 pounds. I was putting tremendous work into the weight room and the gym. There was no shortcuts to basketball. That's because I'm 6'4", 6'5". You're not. I had to work my tail off. And everything began to change for me. So I made the basketball team my senior year. I didn't have a girlfriend until my senior year. Now, you may not think it's funny, but I didn't like girls. I thought they were annoying. I still do sometimes. And so that helped me, I think, in basketball. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Girls in basketball don't go together. I hate to burst your bubble. So you want to be a pretty boy, playboy, chance you're going to make it and go down with it. All right?
You heard that?
Note to self. All right? Note to self. All right? So there are some sacrifices to the game. More than you ever know. All right? All right, my senior year, my father that left our family, he passed away. And quite honestly, I didn't have any emotions toward that because we were never really that close. But it wasn't until later in life as I got older, I thought about my kids, that I began to cry about losing my father because I realized he was no longer around, even though he wasn't in my life. And I want to just say this to you guys. You have your parents that support you, many of you do, even if it's just a mom or dad. Take advantage of the opportunity because life is short. My stepfather has lost everybody in his family. He has one person living in his family. Life is short. Appreciate what your parents do. When you get in the car in the morning, come out here and train, turn to that your mom or father, or if you drive yourself, start praying and say, you know what? I thank God that I have this opportunity to play this game. Not everyone has the opportunity to play this game. Every day you step on that court is an opportunity for you to get better and maximize your potential that God has given you. No matter what level you're at right now, you can always get better. If you need to put that effort out on the court, because today, what's the day? What's the day? Tuesday? June what? What is it? June what? You will no longer have next level who's training again. June, what is it? 11, 2013. You will never have this training again. So whatever you did today, that opportunity is gone. Everybody get what I'm saying? My last game, we made the second round of playoffs my senior year. I felt we could have won the game. We lost it. And I never expected to cry. I cried like a little baby after my last high school game. Even though I knew I was going to play college ball, I cried because I could not go back to high school and play again. That opportunity was gone. And I thought about all the opportunities that I missed. We take a lot for granted as young people today. A lot for granted. Take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to you. You never know when you're going to break a leg. You never know what's going to happen. And I guarantee you, you don't want to look back over your shoulder and say, man, I wish I would have worked hard. I wish I would have listened to coach. I wish I would have worked on this part of my game. When it's over, it is over. There is no going back. The Closest you'll ever be to basketball after that